morning, good afternoon, and good evening. We are live once again. I apologize. I was not live for the last 2 days. I had some back pain that I was dealing with, and I wasn't feeling well. I did a lot of sleeping. Botrix says, join the channel. Alright. Nobody beat him here. Got here fast today, though. Must not be much else going on in Botrix's life. Oh, I had to cut the music for a sec. Alright, music is back. Larry Sings. What's up, Larry? Thank you for subscribing. We're on our way to 5K. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're at 4,912, 13. We're almost there. 85 more subs, and we'll reach that 5K goal. We reached that 5 like checkpoint. We're actually at 6 now. Let me give out some points. $6,000 points going into the chat. If you're here, you're gonna get them. If you're not, you don't. As they say, you gotta be in it to win it. Side real quick. Something about that lighting. It's super hard to see the couch, huh? Let me see what I can do about that. That helps a little bit. That should help a little bit. How's it going today? I hope you're having a beautiful and wonderful day. Here's some of our Midwestern people got a cold snap. -6 feels like -40. We got about 10 inches of snow yesterday here. So I hope you're dealing with the weather all right. Stopping by and chatting. We were talking yesterday about how some people got to be worried about their pipes freezing and what to do in the event that you don't have warm areas for your pipes. Mauricio, hello, hello. Before I forget here, Tyon. Oh, I didn't mean to delete that message. Whoops. Sorry. How do I undelete it? Oh, crap. I just wanted to go to your channel and subscribe, Tiana. Tania Marie. Yes, I subscribe to you, Tania. Welcome back, Mauricio. How you guys doing today? You staying warm out there? Certainly is one of the coldest winters since I've been here in Maine. I'm doing great today. I've had a couple cups of coffee. I was playing Warzone for Call of Duty. I got a couple wins. We started on time with the live stream today. Little Miss Thing there got into a glow stick. Indeed. You certainly would. So make sure you've got battery chargers for your phones, flashlights, you got your portable chargers, and generator ready to go and gassed up if you need it. You definitely want to be prepared to lose power even if you don't. Always better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it, right? You ready for the beach? I don't really have beach up here. It's more like coastline with rocks. When I think beach, I think salt water and sand. Here in Maine, we've got saltwater like areas, but the beaches are all rocky and like when you walk on it barefoot, you're likely to have a slash in your foot. I'm in Maine. How's Rhode Island doing with this snap of weather here? They're kind of in the middle. I heard that some people were getting the weather a lot further south than like New Jersey, but then people in like New Jersey weren't getting the terrible weather that people Midwest we're getting. So this is an interesting storm, to say the least. Usually it's the coastal regions that get swamped with the cold weather. Hey, level up, level up, level up. Every time you put something into chat, you earn 10 XP towards leveling up. Once you reach level 5, all of your levels will be worth 1,000,000 points. Well, each level is worth 1,000,000 each. Points can be used to play the games. Those are automatic chatbot games. Well, you're welcome. Thinking maybe I should have left the mic on for that camera. So you can hear the dogs being crazy up there. But the mic is so sensitive, it picks up every little dumb noise. So, when you guys get hit with the snow, are you gonna take a day off of work? You gonna call out of school, do some sledding, maybe make a snowman? When the weather hits and it hits hard, what are you gonna do to have some fun? So you're not miserable sitting at home wishing you had electricity and Wi-Fi. The storm might force you to go touch grass. I mean, snow-covered grass, but grass nonetheless. Anyone out there do the shoveling for the house? Can anyone relate to my struggle there? We got so much snow in the last week that I strained my back a couple days ago. I was stuck in bed for days. Literally 2 days. I was in pain. That's why I haven't been live the last 2 days. I didn't even get out of bed for more than going to the bathroom. To think of it, I'm not even sure if I ate those 2 days. I just remember feeling really, really crappy. Not wanting to go anywhere or do anything. Like, you ever felt so terrible, like physically, that you didn't even get out of bed to watch TV? Like, you didn't even flip the remote on because the remote was 10 feet away. And you couldn't be bothered to get out of bed. Like that's how I felt the last 2 days. I couldn't even be bothered to switch the TV on. I was in that much discomfort. Normally, whether I live stream or not, I'm playing Call of Duty at some point during the day. I didn't even do that. Wait a second here. I'm gonna go flip that camera microphone on. There we go. Now we can hear the dogs being turds all the way down here. One more double tap on that screen, we can give out 10,000 points. 10 likes, 10,000 points. If we get to 15, we'll give out 15,000 points. 20, 20,000 points, so on and so forth. If you got your YouTube notifications on and you beat Botrix here, you'll get 100,000 points as soon as he gets here. But you have to be here to get the points. That's the catch. Mistaken, we should be expecting some regulars today. totally missed that like checkpoint. We got 12 in there now. I apologize. That's on me. Got distracted down here. Points at all 12,000. Thank you guys for hitting that like button. Calm down a little bit. Maybe I can stir up the herd here by going upstairs to get my coffee. Let's see what happens. If you're new to the channel, from left to right here, we've got Letty, we've got Shadow, we got Annie, and we got Zuma. So if you're looking at them, that one there is Zuma, that one there is Annie, that one there is Shadow, and this one here is Letty. Letty is Lab Pit Terrier. Shadow is Plot Hound Labrador. Annie is Rottweiler Husky, and Zuma is Rottweiler Boxer. Zuma and Annie are both around 3 years old. Shadow is just over 6 months, and Letty is just over 7 years old. So Letty's the oldest. Basement sounds. Go, what's up? Welcome back. How are you today? Where's my button there? There it is. You heard me say hi to Billiard? You came down to say hello to me? It's just us down here, Zooey. You're being grumbly over nothing. Yeah, we're doing great today. It's nice and sunny out. The ice actually started melting. A little bit. But it was like 10 inches of snow, so quite a bit of snow. Kinda, yes. Yesterday it was 23. Feels like 14. That was around midnight. I haven't looked at it yet today. But we've had a couple weeks ago it was much worse. We had single digit temperatures for weeks in a row. Not a week, like weeks. And for those of you who are across the pond there, we're talking Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit. When we're talking single digits. Only scientists and Europeans use Celsius. Let me check it real quick. It says 25 and mostly cloudy, feels like 13. 24 mostly cloudy, feels like 13. A high of 25, a low of -9. So yes, we are expecting it to drop into negative temperatures by 3 a.m. It will drop down to around -9 by 7 a.m. tomorrow. And that's real temperature, not feels like. when it drops to -9, it will likely feel like -40. So it looks like it's the storm, aka the weather temperature thing, is flying its way across the northwest from west to east. We had some people getting -9 temperatures yesterday. And yeah, it just hasn't hit us yet. It's working its way here. I blame Canada. I mean, they're who's north of us, right? They must control that northern weather. It must be their fault. The pity and kitty comedy! Well, you got that in surround sound stereo, didn't you? I got the mic on upstairs in the living room, and I've got the headset on downstairs. Yeah, me and Billiard were just talking about the cold snap that we're supposed to get. I was wondering when it was going to get here. I just looked it up. Should be tonight. Right around 1 a.m. it drops below 0, and then by 7 a.m. it will be -9. Holy freaking moly. I'm not looking forward to -9. I'm glad it's not a school day. Today is Friday. I won't have to get up in the morning. Honestly, I'm not even sure my car would start. It's not a diesel, so it doesn't have a little glow stick that'll keep the oil and the diesel fuel warm. Like I said, I blame Canada. Oh, you got lucky. Let's see what it says about further days. 48-hour forecast. Let's look at that. 88% cloud cover. Holy. It's not even close to sunny. So 1 a.m. it drops below 0 Fahrenheit, and then -8, -9 between 7 and 9 a.m. And then by 2 p.m., the warmest time of the day, it will go back up to 2 degrees Fahrenheit, and then again by 11 p.m. back down to -8, and then we're looking at dropping until Sunday, -14. So we're going to get smashed with this weather. We're not going to see above 10 degrees for another 3 days. Take the bike out and throw another layer on. And our water's not going to freeze either. Luckily, we had all of our stuff insulated about a year ago. Get these tunes going again in the background here, and I'll move this. I'm gonna unlock it. So I'll show you what they did in our basement. Alright, so in our basement, oh, that's the wrong side of the camera. Why did it do that? I told it rear. Okay. So in our basement, they did this spray foam stuff. Right, and we've got the baseboard heat, that's this pipe here. So they spray foam pretty much the first 4 feet. I know there's not much of a reference there, but there's a chair, right? So this is my streaming spot when I do the video game streams in the basement here. But yeah, everything from about 3 feet up is spray foamed. So the frost line, and it's all the way around the basement. Oh, there I am. Hi. But yeah, we should have no issues with stuff freezing. At least our water pipes. Super glad that we ended up getting that done. I don't know. Froze up last year. I've seen a couple houses freeze up and have problems. We had a house down Toms River, which is about 15 minutes outside of Seaside Heights in New Jersey. And nobody had checked on it, and the pipes burst in the second floor. So there was waterfalls of icy water coming down the stairs, ruined all the carpets and all the flooring. Yeah, if I were gonna drip them, I'd wait until temperatures reached at least in the 20s outside. Once you're back in the 20s, you gotta figure the inside of the house has gotta be at least 10 or 20 degrees warmer. Just by being on the other side of the door. So you're probably good once it reaches about 20 degrees outside. And this is Maine, so we were used to getting single-digit temperatures, negatives. It's not my first year here, going on 8 or 9 winters at this point. So I've been hit with just about every kind of storm there is and survived it without freezing or drowning. Oh, that's a great way to make sure you're not wasting it, or like put it in a dish and give it to the doggos. That's a great way to conserve the dripping of the water there. I like that. I'm always a fan of being able to do two birds with one stone. Let's see. It says pressure tank is at the shop and the line is frozen going to that. Oh no. I keep wondering when our sump pump. We've got a recessed portion of our basement here, and then we've got a moat around the edges because the water does tend to come into the house. Bumping my head on the Wi-Fi wire. So the sump pump is recessed about 3 feet into the ground, maybe 2 feet. I might be exaggerating. And I'm wondering, because it shoots the water outside, I'm wondering when at what point it will freeze up and cause that a problem outside. But maybe it won't. The water doesn't gather inside that pipe. It just forces it up and out, and it does like an arch. And then you hear, after the pump stops running, what's left in the pipe retreat back down into the sump. So maybe it won't be an issue at all. I mean, we've been here about 2-3 years. I've never seen an issue with it. Reduce, reuse, recycle. I like that. But don't get crazy, all right? Not every shopping bag is worth saving. My theory on it is if I can't make use of it within the next year, it's probably not worth holding on to. Know what I mean? Like, you gotta give yourself some kind of limit, right? Otherwise you end up becoming a hoarder. Like, nope, that will be useful. I know it's been 10 years since I've had it, but the moment I throw it away, I'm gonna need it. No, the pipe's only exposed at the end where it drains. There's like 2-3 feet of it that's exposed. Everything else is buried, but it's definitely not buried below the frost line for sure. But yeah, I do hear it run back. So I guess logically, since it runs back and there's an arch in the middle, it must mean that the water doesn't stay inside the pipe and therefore it won't freeze. It shouldn't cause me any issues because water coming back in the house will be at a temperature that's not frozen. But yeah, I'm definitely one of those people who will collect things because I figure they will be useful. But I get to that point in about a year after having them when I go, I haven't used this in a year. I don't think I will use it in another year. I'm getting rid of it. It's called spring cleaning, right? You got to get that motivation day. You get that one day where you just like, yeah, I'm freaking motivated, man. I got the right strain of weed in me and vegan air is kicking my butt. Let's go do something fun. This is true. I don't use Marketplace though. I let Dana do the Marketplace stuff. I can't be bothered. It's too tedious for me. Like I end up getting, you know what it really is probably, now that I'm thinking about it? It's the fact that it's on a social media site that has many other things to look at that are way more interesting. So I'll just tell her to put stuff on her marketplace because she's got I guess, a larger audience of whoever. So she'll put it on her marketplace and I'll tell her, if I can get X amount of dollars for it, you can have X amount of dollars for selling it. You know what I mean? Like if it's not worth anything to me and I just want to get rid of it, I'm likely to just say keep it or give me half of whatever you make. Yes, executive functioning. It really is about those terpenes. I find that the terpenes make a huge difference when it comes to whether or not you're motivated to get things done, whether you're feeling creative or whether you're feeling sleepy and hungry. The more I learn about the different types, the more in tune I become with my body. It's really quite fascinating. I forget exactly which ones, but there's over 100 different strains, right? But I think there's only 9 different types of terpenes that come with the 3-letter vegan air tetrahydric something. So it's not only about the cannabinoid levels. It's also about, for me, flavor, aroma, and then also whether or not those terpenes make me feel energetic or sleepy. I've been known to get 2 different pre-rolls because I want one for the evening and I want one for the daytime. The hardest thing that I have found is that there's never an unlimited supply in stock. So you'll search for one that you find, you'll try one, you'll be like, this is the strain for me. All day, every day, this is the one that I want, and I never want to have a different one ever again. And then a week after you've figured that out, it's no longer in stock, and it won't be back again ever, ever. So it makes it really tough unless you're your own caregiver to continue getting the one that you need and want. And let me tell you what, trying to be your own caregiver is a lot more difficult than it seems. If you've ever tried to grow anything and you don't have a green thumb, you better go find somebody who does, because it's a giant waste of time otherwise. I put so much time into growing, and the result was really good, but the quantity was super low. It didn't yield very much at all. But the quality was really good. I don't know where they came from. I don't know what strains they were, because I grew from seeds. But they were tasty. I remember that. I remember them being tasty. And I don't remember feeling super sleepy either. I don't remember feeling overly energetic. So kind of like mids, I guess, but tasty mids. The problem with the seeds are, unless you know what they are, you're like working blind as a caregiver. You're like, here's a pain pill, but I can't tell you whether it's an opioid or an amphetamine. Like, what? What kind of doctor can't tell me that? So it's going to be really tough if you're growing from seeds to be a caregiver. If it's just for your personal use, though, in the state of Maine, we're allowed to produce and hold on to anything and everything that we make for personal use. Like, if I yield 3 pounds, I can keep that for myself. So it's really fun, not gonna lie, but it was a giant waste of time for the yield. If you're looking to produce for yield and like have more than a month's supply, you gotta have somebody with a green thumb, and you're probably gonna want to put about $1,000 into it. But if you're growing just for funsies in the corner of your apartment, and you know you're gonna put it outside in a 10-gallon bucket and then transfer it into the ground and then let the rain do the work for you, absolutely. Lots of fun. Still very time consuming. It's fascinating to watch something grow and take care of it like it's a dog or a cat, you know what I mean? Like you're going over, you're making sure it gets fed, and oh no, this leaf over here got a little brown. I wonder what's going on. Let me check it out. Are there spider mites? Like, do I need to spray some, you know, palm olive over here and some mint? What do I need to do? Like, what I've noticed, the cheapest and most efficient method of raised bed growing is there is a topsoil out there made with like crab shells. It's I forget what they call it. It's like a seafood compost. Apparently works really well for raised bed gardens. They have to change. Billiard. Idaho literally has to change. They don't have a choice at all. They can't be state illegal while federally legal. It can't be a thing. And cannabis is now federally legal for medical purposes. So the state can't overrule. If you get in trouble for having a possession on you and then you take it to a federal level, it's just going to get dropped and thrown away. Especially if you've got a medical card for it, which you probably can't get in your state. Yada yada. Yeah, the feds changed it, so that does a couple things. If you're not aware of what that does when the federal government allows something to be used on a federal level, because cannabis is now available on a federal level for medical uses, and they've changed the category under which it's considered risk of abuse, because that's how they categorize narcotics, is the risk of abuse and how useful it is for medical purposes. And if there are alternatives that are not narcotics. Those are the three ways that they determine whether or not what schedule it falls under. But what it changes when they start to allow it on a federal level is it's going to change how they're able to tax it and get a federal income off of it. It's going to change what research can be done about it. It's going to change who will get grants and federal funding to do research. And it'll also change the way that it's regulated once that research is done. So it'll no longer be a state oversight. Once they do the research, and they may or may not decide to let it go recreational, but if they do, then they will be, as the federal government, regulating it by weight, cost, taxes, strain. So there's a good side to it and there's a bad side to it. When you were getting it from your buddy down the street and not paying taxes on it because he got it from a buddy who got it from a buddy who got it from a buddy, you didn't know what you were getting. And the quality could have been crap. Now you're going to know that the quality is good, but behind the scenes, there's going to be things you're not allowed to explore because the government says no. We've seen this happen with tobacco all over the country. We've seen this happen with vapes all over the country. As soon as the government decides to say no more flavored cigarettes, like menthol becomes a huge problem. We've seen it. And only time will tell whether or not the government involvement will be a benefit or a horrific, terrible thing that we're just going to circumvent anyway. We'll see. What I'd like to see is people who are imprisoned for non-violent cannabis offenses be pardoned. I'd like to see past offenses for cannabis-related violations to be expunged and wiped from people's records. When you make something illegal and then make it legal again, like let's say prohibition, right? And then they made alcohol illegal. It became a huge problem. There was riots in the streets, and then they made it legal again. Like, I'm pretty sure they let those people out, right? Did they let those people out after they made it legal again? They were like, oh, this distiller, this wine cellar, these guys, we'll just let them out. Pretty sure they did. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I'm not citing a source here. But I think it's pretty messed up to have people in jail for distributing, consuming, producing, and obtaining something that's now considered medically necessary and recreationally available. Like, if the doctor says to me, you need to eat purple flowers, violets, for the rest of your life if you want to survive this ailment. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to eat violets for the rest of my life because it's going to cure my ailment. It's going to keep this ailment away. And then government decides to ban violets. What am I going to do to survive? I'm going to have to illegally consume violets, right? Stupos. What's up, stupos? It's not relevant as far as I'm concerned. Somebody's orientation, what they like or don't like, is none of my business. Thank you for being in the chat, though. You now have 46 subscribers, and I am one. Billiard, don't be a troll. I mean, we know she's probably he, she, them. I'm not going to assume a pronoun here. See, we have 4 dogs. I'll get this music on stop here, and I'll point them out to you. We've got Letty over here. She's a lab pit terrier. Then we've got Zuma over here. Zuma is Rottweiler Boxer. And then we've got, well, it's hard to see her over there, but in this tiny little corner, we've got Annie. Annie is Rottweiler Husky. And down here with me, we've got Shadow. Squish this back down to small. Unlock this layer. Then I can pull it down here. Ta-da! There's Shadow. Just chilling next to me in the basement here. She is Plot Hound Labrador. Yeah, this is it's just a picture that I put up on screen. It's like a sticker. And then I just move the picture around the screen. Let's see. We had a message deleted here. I don't know why. Let's see. Vilikata? Vilikata. Vuka? Vuki? Vilikata Vuki. I don't. I'm pretty sure I'm saying something I shouldn't be. Yeah, I get that. I've got my YouTube account connected to Prism and Botrix and Discord, I think. I don't know. I'm like, whatever. At this point, if it's going to get taken from me, it's going to get taken from me. Run with it for ease of use. It's kind of tough to do without a second or third device because while you can chat in the chat, a bunch of things are not recognized by Prism. Like it will not tell you when you get a super chat. That's a big deal, right? It won't tell you when you get a super sticker. It doesn't tell you how many likes you got in the chat. Little things like that. So when I'm using Prism, which I'm doing right now, I've got 3 phones activated at the moment. I've got a phone that doesn't have a working camera for some glitched reason, and it's watching the YouTube, and that's the one I use to chat with you guys. So that one will see the colors, the wrenches, the emojis, the super chats. It'll see all that stuff. And then I've got the Prism one, which is where I'm moving stuff around on the screen and putting music. The interesting thing about that one is Prism doesn't get rid of the comments that people retract. So even though you retracted those 2 comments, I can still see them in the Prism. So I know what you wrote. We reached that 15 like checkpoint. Let's give out 15,000 points. Let's see, what other kind of... Oh, so, and the third phone, that's Zuma's phone. It's up there using a different app. It's actually a website. It's called VDO Ninja. And it turns my phone into a streaming camera. So I'm actually streaming to the internet on a particular website. It gives you like a random one, with alphanumerical parts of the web address so that you can't just easily guess it. It's streaming that video feed, and then I pick up by just going to the website. I go to that video feed inside Prism. So it's more like a picture, right? You see? And I'm just bringing that feed into Prism. And then the other thing I can do with Prism is, like you saw, I was able to bring, like I can bring other pictures in, right? I have this cute little thing for my gaming live stream, right? Where if I want to do something like that, where I've got part of the image over there, or I'm using the camera and a smaller image right there, I could do that. Um, this here is another image. It's just like I can make it bigger or smaller. And then as I move it around, you see it being moved around. It's just a useful image, but it literally is only an image. And then there's other fun stuff that you can do, like the likes goal, right? Now, if I wanted to see them on Prism, I would have to put this widget there. And I could move that around the screen wherever I want. Fun thing about those is they can be manipulated. You can make them bigger. You can use the source code to change the way that they look, colors, shapes, edges. I mean, you can put them at any angle you want, literally anywhere on the screen. It'll just do the thing. Bloop. It has other fun stuff. I didn't just wake up one day with knowing how to do this. I was forced into it. I needed a way to stream my video games via Twitch, aka the Purple app. There it is. Live last 3 hours ago, indeedly. But I needed to be able to do that. And so I forced myself to learn it. But it allows you to put music in, or like this one. This one's actually a video, but there's music attached to the video. Oops. I need to lock that layer. This is center line. Okay. What else can I do on top of that? And that's just the free version. The free version is 2 elements on screen. 10 viewers is not enough. Never. But they have this other cool stuff that you can throw up on screen. Like, here's a dinosaur. Merry Christmas. Like, you got this hello there little thing you can pop up. You can say thank you. You can do, this other little animation. Stay cool, like and sub. And then they've got like stickers where you can actually post a sticker on the screen and it'll stay on the screen. You can move the sticker around. So that's some fun stuff. Let's see how many stickers will they let me have here. There you go. There's 3 stickers so far. Here we go. 4 stickers. Get this one off of Homer's face. And the stickers can be manipulated too. I think you're allowed 4 stickers. Yes. Stickers are only allowed to be 4 at a time. Let's see. We've got other cool things that it does. Like, you see how I'm getting those fireworks to pop up there? Or I can get it to... Oh, some effects are not available in 1080. Okay. Look at that. I can make that effect roll across the screen. I can say hello there to you. Let's see if it'll let me do a border. No, it won't let me do a border. Because it wants the border to be a bottom layer, and it's not the bottom layer. Let's see, random touches. We got explosions, and fireworks, and confetti. We could do some petals, or some hearts and stuff. See, we got here's a champagne bottle. It's got some cool stuff. Let me catch up on chat here. I was getting carried away. Streaming games isn't difficult either. You just have to have the video captured and sent to the internet, and once it's on the internet, you can grab it and bring it into the Prism. That's what I do with the Twitch. I stream the Twitch directly from the Xbox, and then I grab the stream and bring it into Prism, and then I stream from Prism to YouTube. That's how I do the gaming live streams on YouTube. So you're basically using Prism as a middleman, or I use it as a conduit, the path to another app. But if you've got the premium version that you paid for, you can stream to multiple servers all at once, and that's the benefit of doing it through like Prism instead of directly through YouTube, because I'd be able to stream to Twitch, to Kick, to YouTube, to Steam, or whatever other streaming accounts that I had set up there. I could stream them all simultaneously at the same time. Doggo and Mario streaming scene. Nintendo doesn't have Wi-Fi. You did? That is cool. I have the knowledge, but not the patience. Or money. Or land. I have the knowledge, but not the resources in order to do it. I'm working on that. Okay, I'm working on that. As soon as I'm able to buy myself a laptop with a capture card, boom, you're gonna start seeing retro systems come into these live streams. Because and not modded either. Original PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, Xbox, OG Xbox. We're not talking the 1 or the 360 or whatever the hell they're selling now. We're talking the original first generation Xbox. The one that they created Halo for. That one. I've got that Xbox. I've also got the Wii. And I've got a Nintendo 64. But I need to figure out where I can buy a power thing for Nintendo 64, because... But don't expect the quality to be great either, because once I get a capture card, what it's going to do is it's going to convert it from digital to analog to go through RCA, and then back from analog to digital to go into an HDMI. Because there isn't any such thing as a capture card that runs from RCA. There's no analog capture cards. If I wanted to avoid that, I would have to pick up the digital signal before it went into the RCA cables, which would require me to mod the console, and I'm not going to do that. I believe that, Billiard. If I had the money, the resources, and the land, I would build my own house too. Because if you want it done right, you have to do it yourself. And the best part about that is there's no time frame on that. It gets done by your motivation. He keeps pestering you to have a PS5. Um, yeah, I wouldn't say PS5 is your best choice, but if you're gonna get one, you might as well get the top of the line, right? That's how I feel about it. I say if I'm gonna get some kind of electronic and I'm gonna spend a boatload of money on it, I'm gonna get the best of the best so I can enjoy my experience having spent that money. I'm running a Samsung S24 Plus. That is Samsung's flagship model. It's got 12 gigs of RAM. That's more than most people's computers when I bought it. And I'm paying it off monthly. It's like a $2,500 phone. But if I'm going to be carrying this thing around and I expect it to do all the things that I need it to do whenever I need it to do it, I needed to have the top of the line so that it can do what I need it to do when I need it to do it. And it's not going to crap out. And I have first-hand experience with not buying the top of the line and seeing how that plays out. Zuma's phone is probably bottom of the barrel, but it functions for what I need it to do. Whenever I try to do anything extensive on it, it crashes on me and restarts. Simple example right there. Whereas I've never had my S24 Plus crash on me. Never. Not once. Ever. Never crashed on me. Never shut off by itself without a reason. It was the same thing when I got the Galaxy S8 Plus. It was the same thing when I had the Galaxy S6 Plus. You know, once you go flagship, you just can't go back. You can't go back to driving a hoopty after driving a Mercedes. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you can't do it. You want that Mercedes. You want the next version of that Mercedes. And the next version of that Mercedes. You can't just go back to driving a Honda Civic. You've been teased. You know, once you've driven in a Cadillac, nothing else has smoother shock absorption. That's how I get my energy out. GTA 4 is still my favorite. Although, close second is San Andreas. Very close second. 5 is not bad. And Liberty City Stories wasn't bad either. But still 4 in San Andreas. You gotta love Carl, the straight edge gangsta. Carl's like, nope, I don't drink, I don't do drugs. Don't ask. A hoopty phone. If it does what you need it to do, then, you know, whatever. But I needed my phone to be a phone, a computer, a laptop, you know, a streaming service, a hotspot, everything. Like, I needed it to be a pocket computer because I don't have a laptop. And I don't have money to buy a laptop, and it would be ill-used money for me to buy a laptop because I don't have enough legitimate uses for a laptop. But I can justify spending money on a good phone because I've had crappy phones. Oh no, there's nothing wrong with the older phones. But what I've noticed is, so my first smartphone was the Motorola Razr. Do you guys remember that? Motorola was a phone company, right? The Motorola Razr. It was touchscreen, and it was basic and small. And I've used that phone since having my other ones, and it's just really hard to go back. You get so used to doing, like, so when I type, I use swipe. Can't do that on that phone. You'll notice the lag time in opening apps. You'll notice the lag time when doing things on the internet. I don't know whether it's a change in times because the old technology is no longer being supported by the internet, or whether it's a lack in hardware capabilities or software capabilities. But the older phones, they don't stand up to the things that I need them to do. Like, I need my phones to do the thing without question every time. Holy moly. We're getting talking over here. We're already 30 minutes over our 2-hour mark. We are going to need to call it, though. I need to go pick the kiddo up from school. Wah, wah, wah. But hey, that means we can just stay home and be warm for the next 2 days. Yeah, my first smartphone was the Droid Razr. It was a Motorola Droid Razr. R-A-Z-R. Hey, Billy, you leveled up. Alright, we're gonna use our, before I procrastinate too much here, we're gonna use our buy command, and we're gonna use our end command. Level up, level up, level up. I'm gonna throw some confetti out here. Is it gonna let me throw the confetti out here? You can put this out here. Ta-da! And then we're gonna say goodbye. You guys stay warm as well. We love you. Thanks for stopping by.